All right, it says we're live, or I'm live, because I don't have a panel, and that's on me because I didn't send anybody any invites. If you want an invite, send me an email or leave a comment over there in the live chat saying you want an invite. Send anybody any invites. There we go. An invite, send me an email or leave a comment over there in the live. All right. I just wanted to make sure it was live. Checking over there. Yep, it's live. Okay. So yeah. Anyhow, it's just me. I don't know how long the show is going to be. Doesn't really matter. I didn't send any invites to anybody, so if you want an invite, type it over there in the live chat or send me an email. You know my email address. I thought I had a little banner set to go off here, and there we go. If you want a link, ask for one. So, what's the premise of this show? So I'm filling in for Rick. I'm on an hour after he normally is on. His computer's on the fritz. I can't say that mine's not far behind his. So for all I know, this could just drop right out because the computer's been kind of laggy lately. But the what do we got over here? Bearded guy says hi. Tactical Fud. Hi. Thanks, guys. Hi. I'm not going to read the rules because there's no panelists. If I get some panelists, I'll read the rules. Otherwise, why waste time with that? But anyhow, uh, yeah, Rick's computer's on the fritz, and doing a show at 3 wasn't in the cards. I wasn't even sure I could do a show at 4. I just sent out a notice like 10 minutes ago, only because I've been working on all kinds of stuff today, and it's not really that important that I do a show. I think G23 is doing a show later today, or early tonight. So there's always going to be somebody on, and I don't know if Unloaded Media is doing a show, wrestling show tonight or not, but there'll be somebody on, I'm sure, and somebody can watch us on replay because I'll put it in the live show playlist. But the topic today is talking about going to trade shows, YouTuber events, rallies, things like that, things that we in the Second Amendment culture on YouTube, whether you're a creator or you're in the audience, things that we can go to, why people go or don't go. And it's been my experience in the, let's see, I got to do the math here. This has been like 6 years or something like that I've been doing this, that there are opportunities for people to attend events all the time. Some people will, give a list of excuses, and some events are exclusive. You have to be somebody to go, but that doesn't mean that uh, there aren't opportunities. It's just whether or not you take them. And some people don't want to go to things, and I get that. If you don't want to go, don't go. But there are people that do go to these things, and the way they behave about it, I don't care for the behavior. So I tend to push back against it. Uh, I guess I should start with rallies. I go to rallies. I don't go to every rally in my state. I don't go to every rally in neighboring states, but I go to rallies. I go to them because I think it does make a difference. And if enough people go or enough people are seen there, then that will encourage more people to go. If we had a big rally with a lot of people that got a lot of attention, especially if the media showed up there and we didn't have douchebags get in front of the camera, or the politicians actually noticed us there in numbers, I believe it makes a difference. Also, the fact that we can peaceably assemble per the Constitution and nothing happens proves our point. It proves that we're not criminals. It proves that we're not looking to hurt anybody or do anything like that. So I'm a big proponent of rallies. Now, I never did rallies before the whole YouTube thing, right? I did other things before social media, as far as trying to be involved in the Second Amendment, and I still do some of those things. But rallies were something that just was never really on my radar. And there are people that say, "I'm not going to a rally because I'll get arrested." Why are you going to get arrested, dude? What, are you planning to do something? I'm not going to go to a rally because they'll start something. The mythical they, right? Antifa will be there, or BLM or somebody, right? And they're going to start something. Um, yeah, I've seen people yelling from across the street or Karen with her megaphone, and that's about it. I mean, just I really haven't seen this violent thing, right? I'm not saying there ain't potential for it. If there's miscommunication, some sort of misunderstanding, some sort of thing like the whole Charlottesville thing, that really wasn't a 2A rally, but it was one group that had filed for a permit to have a rally that was there, that it was known that they were going to be there and they had a time and a place and blah blah blah, and another group that didn't, that just showed up and crashed the party. If somebody's worried that's going to happen because they've seen it with that sort of thing, okay, I get that. But I just haven't seen it with a Second Amendment rally. And if you live in a state where you can carry a firearm, either open or concealed, that's the deterrent. That's part of the reason why I believe in the right more than the act. That doesn't mean that I don't think you shouldn't carry a firearm. Carry one, don't carry one. But the fact is, as long as you have the choice to do it, the right to do it, as long as the Constitution is honored, that's all that matters. Because the right to keep and bear arms and it not getting infringed is the biggest deterrent. I don't know if he's concealed carrying or not. I don't know if all of them are, none of them are, or if you're open carrying, then you're blatantly showing, hey, look, dude, I got the firepower to deal with this. I mean, you got somebody walking around with body armor, a Bowie knife, a semi-automatic rifle, and a sidearm. Are you really going to want to fuck with them? Or what if there's 6 of them or 12 of them standing in a group, talking about their mortgages and their ex-wives, right? But because gun people are regular people like everybody else, right? They're not going to come down there and fuck with us. They're just not. It's just not in the cards. If we were unarmed and they thought that they could pull something on us, also, if there was a situation, the police are there. The sheriff, the local police, maybe both, the state police, depending on where you're at, right? They're there for us just as much as they are in case we get out of hand. And in most cases, when I've talked to law enforcement, they side with us. Now, I'm not saying all cases. I've had some cops give me dirty looks or whatever. And, people, there's UCs in the crowd. There's undercovers in the crowd. And whatever, dude. For the people that are paranoid and have their conspiracy theories and all the other bullshit, hey, man, there's nothing I can do for you. Believe what you want to believe. But overall, law enforcement is there. Lastly, just use some common sense. The first rule of a fight, don't be there. That's the truth. All these people are like, I got to have 15 guns and be able to draw in a fraction of a second and have a 30-round clipazine and all this other crap, right? How about if you're not directly affected, go to the parking structure, get in your vehicle and leave. Seriously, just leave. Let the cops handle it. Get out of there. I'm not saying we're retreating like cowards or whatever, but if it really got that bad, what are you sticking around for? Honestly, why? What are you, vigilante? That doesn't help either. That doesn't. If you're in self-defense, Kyle Rittenhouse, self-defense, right? But regardless, I don't put a lot of stock in that. Now, if somebody just wants to believe what they want to believe, they're going to believe it. Because I've had people tell me, at these rallies that they're concealed carrying and they don't think we should be open carrying because that's bad optics or it's going to send a message or it's going to scare the crap out of people. And I've seen people change their mind about that. I've also seen people that have, said they're taking our pictures right now. Okay, take my fucking picture. My picture is on file with the state police because I had a concealed pistol license, right? My picture's on file with the DOD, so it's my fingerprints and everything. I mean, if you don't think your picture is not in a million places already, so some people don't want to go because they're paranoid. They honestly think that they're being watched and people are out to get them. Dude, I got news for you. You're not that important. You might think you are, but you're not. Nobody's watching you. Honestly, nobody gives a fuck except yourself. So if you want to fluff yourself up to make it look like, oh yeah, man, the cops, they're watching me the whole time. Because what? Either you really are a criminal or you're just trying to act like a badass. And when the bullets do start flying, you're going to be the first one to drop your Mosin Nagant and run, aren't you? So, yeah, I just don't put a lot into the whole don't go to a Second Amendment rally thing, but they're not for everybody. And I understand the people who say, they've got other obligations or they've got a health issue that prevents them from going or they weren't given enough notice, because that's one of the biggest issues with rallies, I will tell you, is because there is such short notice. And that's bullshit. Also, they don't promote them very well. The other side promotes their rallies great, but we don't. So that's something, we need to clean up in our own house. We need to do a better job of getting the word out, getting it out in advance, planning, filing the paperwork. We shouldn't be down the street on the corner. We should be in front of the Capitol, that sort of thing. But I didn't do that until I started doing the YouTube thing, and I encourage other people to do it. And if they don't want to do it, that's fine. There are other ways to support the Second Amendment. Let's see what the bearded guy has to say. Both people can show up. Let's have a civil conversation, but you can't have a civil conversation, then that's you. Yeah, that's true. Your ID is out there long ago because of service. Yeah, it is. Defense Dad, as far as pictures go, you forgo your right to privacy when you go to a public location. As a photographer, I can take pics of anyone I want out in public. These are good things to know. So if you're that paranoid that they're out to get you and you don't want to be seen in public with your gun or at a rally where you're supporting your Second Amendment rights, fine, don't go. All right. But then when they do pass anti-constitutional laws, anti-Second Amendment laws in your state or at the national level, and you could have made a difference, don't come onto social media complaining, because you're part of the problem. If you don't have the courage to stand up, then this is what's going to happen. Now, there's trade shows. Now, trade shows are a mixed bag. You have the ones that are open to the public. Anybody can go. Maybe you got to pay admission, parking. Maybe you got to be a member of the NRA, which is just like paying admission, honestly. I mean, how many of you have gone to a gun show and you had to pay for parking and admission, right? Actually, I like to go to the gun shows where if I re-up my NRA membership for a year, I get free admission. But it's really the same thing. Now, not every trade show is completely managed by the NRA or is completely NRA themed, but there are trade shows all over the country throughout the year. I'm not saying they're in 50 cities, but if you say, well, I live on the East Coast, I can't go anywhere. Bullshit. You can go to the Great American Outdoor Show, and you can go to Rod of Iron, right? And then I think Trigger Con's on the West Coast, right? And then Wanamaker is more of a gun show than a trade show, but you might run into vendors there. That's in the middle of the fucking country. And then the NRA show could be anywhere. It really could be. There's also SHOT Show, which I'll talk about in a minute. But these are all trade shows you can go to. Now, you can talk to the vendors. You can talk to them about a problem you've had with a product. You can ask to see a product, handle a product. You can ask for some technical support. You can get a lot of valuable things as a person from going to a trade show. You can see the newest, latest, greatest things. Instead of just seeing a video on it, you're actually, touchy-feely, that sort of thing. You might not necessarily get to shoot it or take a free one home, which is what some people are just going for anyhow. But you have the opportunity to kind of almost test drive the car before you buy it. You can at least go to the dealership and look at one on the showroom before you order one, right? The other thing too is if you're a YouTuber, you can go there and make videos, and you don't necessarily have to just do interviews. You can, but there are lots of other opportunities to make videos there, and you get to network out with other YouTubers that are in the Second Amendment culture. What do we got here? Gives you Gary. TriggerCon is in Kansas last year and this year. Okay. Okay. I thought it was in Washington State before. So, all right, middle of the country. So there's got to be something out on the West Coast, not in California. And it might not even be in Washington or Oregon either, because they're turning into California. So maybe if you're on the West Coast, you're kind of fucked. But you guys did it to yourself because you didn't show up to a rally. What can I say? That bearded guy gives you Gary. Yeah, let's see here. That's true. Look at California, New York, and Illinois. Yeah. So maybe you don't have something in your area and you're going to have to travel. Some people will give the excuse, I can't afford it. That's bullshit. Some of these shows, you can find out a year in advance when they're going to be happening. NRA puts out, says what city and what dates a couple years in advance in some cases, but you can get about a year's worth of notice. Now, if you can't save up the money in a year, you got bigger issues. Another thing is getting time off work. This is part of the reason people don't show up to Second Amendment rallies. When they've got a day and a half's notice, you give that to your boss, they're going to say no. But if you got a year, you can put in for the time off. You say, well, I don't have time off at my job. Then get a better job, asshole, because, I mean, you're the same person who goes, I don't have health care. And then you come on YouTube and eBay, somebody pay my kid's doctor bill for me. Get a job with health care. You got kids. What the fuck is your problem? Well, I don't want to do that, which leads into a whole nother can of worms. You know, I'd have to drive. I'd have to show up on time. They'd take taxes out of my paycheck. I'd have to pass a drug test. Look, dude. All right, I don't know what to tell you, but you're just giving me a bag of excuses as far as I'm concerned. Now, once again, these are all optional. A rally, a trade show, something like that, that's all optional. You don't have to go. But just some of the reasons I hear people say they don't go, it just, I don't know if I'm more amused or just disgusted, because once again, these are people that go, our rights and blah, 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 but somebody else do it for me. The thing about going to the trade shows is that you have an opportunity to network out with people. You can network out with people at a rally as well, but at the trade shows you can really network out with people. And if you're a YouTuber, I would say it would behoove you. Now, some people just go to them strictly just to create the videos. You know, if you go to a trade show for a day, 2 days, a week, you could create 3 months worth of videos. This is the most bang for your buck. You're just going to get all this stuff out there. And another thing is, people love the newest, latest, greatest crap. I don't. I'm actually bored with it, because all this innovative shit is just that. It's shit. It's bullshit. It's garbage. I'm interested in older guns. I say this all the time. There are guns that have been on my list since the 1980s I still don't own. When I get those, then I'll worry about this new innovative horse shit. So I'm not impressed by that. Just like I don't like range videos. Any asshole can go out there and shoot a gun, but yet what are the 2 videos that get the most attention? When you go shoot a gun, and it's funny watching these people. I'm on my home range where I shoot every day. So how the fuck can I miss my target? Because I've been shooting at it for, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. And, and they're point blank with a 36-inch steel gun going clang, 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 dumping it out as fast as they can. Going, look at me, I'm a motherfucking operator. But those are the videos that get views. All right, dude, I'm not impressed. Now, I'm not saying I'm a stunt shooter or I hit the target every time or whatever, but I'm just not, if I did videos like that, I'd have 50,000 subs too. Another thing is I got an interview with Bullshit Arms Company, and here's their latest, greatest piece of shit that hasn't even made it to the stores and probably won't, but you're going to watch my video because you're there going, I got to have it. I got to have it. Dude, I'm just not impressed by that. But the truth of it is, if you make videos like that, your channel's going to do well. So if you go to one of these trade shows, not only can you network out with other YouTubers and network out with these companies, but you might get free products to try out. That's saving you money or making it worth your while to commute or fly out there, right? Stay in a hotel. Also, just the videos. Now, your videos might get flagged or demonetized, right? Oh, you guys just lose your fucking minds over getting demonetized. But the thing is, you're getting people to watch your channel, and there's other ways to make money. If that's all you're doing this shit for is just to make money, there are other ways to do it. So bang for your buck going to one of these trade shows would behoove you. However, it's still optional. I just like the fact that you get to see how many other people who aren't YouTubers are out there interested in these sorts of things, or just shooting the shit with some of these manufacturers. Sometimes I'll talk shop with them because I'm in manufacturing, right? I'm in R&D and manufacturing. So we speak that industry language. I don't speak the whole, yeah, man, can I get a T&E for free kind of thing? I speak the whole, yeah, how's your labor situation? Ours sucks kind of thing. But it's still fun to do. It really is. And sometimes at these events, you can run into some of these bigger YouTubers. Now, I know how a lot of people operate. I'm going to kiss up to this guy so that he says my name, and then I'll get 10,000 more subs. That guy's there looking at you going, I'm going to get this guy to promote my channel because I'm stagnant and I ain't got no growth. And if I can get his subs who've never heard of me to join, then I'm going to get, whatever. I'm not into that. Dude, if I talk to a big YouTuber and, they give me the whole, then fuck off, dude. But, I just being able to say something like, hey man, I like your videos, or I like most of your videos, or this one really stuck out, or, or they tell me a little bit about themselves or their channel or things like that. It's kind of like behind the scenes stuff. And then I understand them a little bit better and I might be more interested in watching their videos, but I'm not there to get, hey man, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. But once again, if you're a YouTuber, that's another way to do things. Let's see what sort of anybody else out there. Same people are out there. So, oh yeah, let me check my email address and see if anybody or my email address. What an idiot. Yeah, nobody sent me a request. So nobody wants to be on this train wreck. Anyhow, yeah, so these are things that you might want to consider if you're a small channel and you're thinking about growing. You're going, but I can't afford to go. Once again, save up your money. Save up your money. I would recommend bringing cash and credit cards, because some parking is cash only. Some things are cash only. Some things might be a little bit cheaper if they're cash. Yeah, me, Mr. Credit Card. I use plastic more. I don't like carrying cash, but I do take them to these events. I do. NRAAM next week. I'm thinking about parking at a place that's cash only, because of the location, somewhere different this time. But I may get there and the parking lot might be full. Who the hell knows? So these are other reasons to go. Now, of course, there's swag. You go to, you're not really going to see swag at a rally unless somebody's got a tent set up and they're giving away a free patch or free shirt or something when you sign up to a membership for their gun rights organization. Like sometimes at our rallies here in Michigan, you'll have some of the Michigan organizations there, and they'll either give you a deal on renewing your membership or getting a new membership, or they'll give you a hat or a shirt or something for free by signing up. But they only do that at the rallies, right? Stuff like that. Rallies really aren't meant to sell products. Trade shows, you might have a few people selling a few things, but for the most part, they're just presenting them. I think some people get the impression that when they go to a trade show, they've got to bring a shit ton of cash because they're shopping. No, not very many people are selling things. That's at a gun show. Wanamaker's where you need to bring the money, right? And somebody told me that they don't take credit cards there. Okay, fine, whatever. I haven't done a Wanamaker thing yet, guys, honestly, because for the cost of fuel round trip, I could go to the gun show here and buy 1 or 2 rifles. So why? But I had been in Tulsa while all you guys were there. I thought about stopping in, actually, and I just kept driving. It doesn't mean I'll never go to Wanamaker. It might be the way that I end up finding Milsurp parts. I actually thought about going one time just to shop for Milsurp parts that sometimes I have trouble finding, because I can make Tulsa in a day. But Wanamaker is during spring break and opening weekend for deer season. Who's a dumbass who thought of that? So probably never going to go because of that. So, but a trade show is not a gun show. Don't be mistaken and think you've got to bring tons of cash and everybody you walk past is going to snatch you up and pressure you into buying their product. That's not what it's there for. As a matter of fact, some of these vendors at these booths are total dicks. You go to talk to them and they're total dicks. They're sick of the interviews. They're sick of people asking for T&E shit. They're sick of people asking for swag. They really don't want to fucking talk to you, and they don't care. They don't care that you have a press pass. They don't care that you have 2 other people with you. They don't care that you got a backpack and 60 cameras hanging off of you. They don't fucking care, and they don't want to talk to you. Then other people are willing to talk to you. You might have a problem with your gun, and you've been talking to customer service, and you're not getting anywhere. And then you actually get to talk to them face to face, and they give you their business card. Next thing you know, you've got a contact. I've got a contact at Henry, and we were just communicating back and forth by email. I got to meet her in person at NRAAM, so that was kind of nice. But there's more to a trade show than just seeing the latest, greatest bullshit. There really is. It's just, what do you want to make out of it? And then there's the gun shows, I guess, that are above and beyond your local at the VFW or some other bullshit like that, which there's nothing wrong with the small gun shows at the small little, venue or whatnot, because you might find a really good deal there. You might find this, somebody brought it back from World War II and nobody knows what it is, and they're selling it for next to nothing and it's worth a fortune, right? But some of these gun shows, these really big gun shows, they won't let you film there. They won't let you take pictures. I've taken pictures and shot video in gun shows before. I've gotten dirty looks. I've gotten, I asked first, and some of them say absolutely not. But I did it for an episode of Lock and Load that we did, because HVS had never gone to a gun show. He lived in California where they don't have guns, and now he lives in Hawaii where they really don't have guns. And so I kind of did this, and I put all the pictures in order, and he just shared them on the screen there, and I described what was going on to explain that. And a lot of gun shows won't let you shoot footage. Now, you guys make plenty of videos at Wanamaker, and I don't know what sort of pushback you get from some of the people there, but I think it's good that you show them, because at least people can see what it is. Because if somebody's never heard of this before, actually, honestly, I never heard of it until YouTube. And almost all the people I know here who don't really watch YouTube, except for maybe some of the really big channels, or aren't into this sort of shit. They're my gun friends that aren't on YouTube. They've never heard of this. The world's biggest gun show. Well, nobody's fucking heard of it, guys. Honestly, you might go, well, look at the line to get in the door. I don't know what to tell you. Nobody's heard of this fucking thing, right? Well, I live in Kansas. I've heard of it. Well, yeah, because it's 2 hours away, But at a gun show, you might not be able to shoot videos for your YouTube channel. You might not be able to take pictures. You might not be able to do a lot of stuff. You're definitely going to be in a position where you're going to be tempted to spend money. So what do I think about the people that talk about this stuff on their YouTube channels? Let's see here. Before I go into that, let's see. Wanamaker is limited by the event venue as the available dates, the expo. Yeah, but it's every April and every November, Gary. So if you can't go this year, or you're not in a position next year, you need to have the money. You need to be looking at booking hotel rooms around April or November. So even if you have a ballpark range of when, NRAAM's probably going to be like April or May, that sort of thing. So let's see. They take credit cards at Tulsa. All right. See, Tactical FUD, somebody told me it was mostly cash. So I don't know. I don't really care. I'll bring cash and credit if I ever go, but it's just probably not in the works for me. Now, just because I don't go, I don't think it's a bad gun show. But honestly, I've seen videos, I've seen pictures. Nobody's done a video yet that's made me go, oh, wow, I've got to go there. Seriously, nobody's done anything to hook me. Once again, like I said, for the cost of fuel, not even a hotel. If I just drove there and drove back, I could buy 2 rifles at Antique Arms down the street. So why? You're from Shit Kicker, Texas, and there's no Antique Arms show there. As a matter of fact, there's no store for 3 hours in any direction. This is a big thing for you, but for me, it's not. It doesn't mean that I think I'm better or anything else like that, but nobody's done anything to hook me. Nobody's done anything where I'm going, damn, I got to get down there, right? Now, there is the, meeting up with YouTube friends, but I do that a couple times a year anyhow, because I go to other things. So, and honestly, if you've been in the audience and you've never met anybody in person and you're a little bit shy or whatever, dude, we don't bite, honestly. I mean, some of these bigger channels, they are total dicks. And if you go to, hi, Mr. So-and-so, can I? And they'll be like, whatever. But the rest of us, nah. No, we might be dicks to each other on these shows, especially me, but you just in general, in public, I haven't seen anybody be like, don't talk to me. And I haven't seen, I'm Gizzard Gary. Do you know who the fuck I am? No, I've never seen that. So, yeah, but, for some people in the audience, getting to meet somebody in person is kind of a nice thing, because, you get a name with the face, or, you maybe just chit chat and find out you guys have got something in common, or you find out some behind the scene things that the person just doesn't show or talk about on their live shows or in their videos or whatnot. But when you go to these events, I got an issue with the YouTubers that talk about this event on every weekly fucking live show for 3 months prior and 3 months after. I do. Dude, nobody fucking cares except you and your 5 friends. All right. And I understand you could say, well, we can have a group phone call, whatever, a Teams meeting, right? More or less, and just air it live, and then that's our live show, but we're really putting our plans together and whatnot. And that's great, but it's almost like radio for 5, or streaming for 5. I don't really consider that very inclusive of the audience. And that's the issue I have, is the people that say, I get to go to this event and you don't. Not, hey, I got the credentials, I'm going. What do you guys want to see? Hey, I got the credentials, I'm going. Let me share this with you. No, it's look at me, I'm big YouTuber X, and you are peon. Dude, you're not the guy with 1.5 million subs yet. So, and even if you are, that's just. But then this same person will go and join my Patreon, but suck it. I just I don't. I could see one show about it beforehand or whatever, but talking about it every single fucking week. And then after you get back and we did this and we did that and we did. When I've talked about some of these events that I've gone to on other people's live shows as a panelist, I've tried to stop the conversation and have a little backstory so the audience can understand where we're coming from. Instead of just telling the inside joke and everybody in the audience is going, huh? What? And I see a lot of people do that. And I think it's them fluffing themselves up. They've got some insecurity issues or some other shit like that. And they're there going, I have to look like I'm the only one in the room who knows what the fuck I'm talking about. Well, you are, because you're not including the audience. So if you're going to do that sort of thing, I think you should try to include the audience. Now, if you don't, it's your show, it's your channel. Do what the fuck you want. I do what the fuck I want on mine, right? And I get what I asked for, by not having any analytics. Duh, I guess I should just go in the backyard and shoot a gong at point blank range. But when people talk about these things and they don't seem to be as inclusive with the audience. They don't seem to be as transparent with the audience. They just seem to be like they're hiding something and they're acting like they have a superiority complex because I get to go. Or, it's like, I'm going to ask you motherfuckers for the next 3 months to give me money so I can go. Meanwhile, you guys can't go because you don't have the money. And somebody might go, well, I don't have $1,000 for travel money to go to this, but I can give this guy $20. And if enough people give you $20, you got the $1,000. If that's what you want to do, once again, it's your channel. You can do what you want. I won't. I'll come up with the money on my own, or I just won't go. Because I pay my own bills. I don't ask another grown man to pay my bills. I mean, it'd be nice if I had a sponsor paying for that shit, but that's never going to happen because of my foul mouth and my bad attitude. So, yeah, I'm just not interested in the shows where somebody's e-begging to get somebody to pay their bills. And I have friends that do that. You guys are still my friends. It's the same thing. Like, we don't agree on everything, right? We have arguments on here. You're still my friends. You guys can say you think I'm a dick for calling you a dick. I don't care, whatever. But I'm just not about the shows where you're doing a telethon for 3 months to get the money, or you're just excluding the audience, because I think that alienates people who might want to go to this. Or if it's something where you need special credentials, you do kind of act like, well, I'm holier than thou. And that just doesn't fly with me. Now, some people have told me that I kind of act like that with my bad attitude. But the thing about that is, no, I never say I'm holier than thou. And if you if that's what's implied, let's have a conversation. My attitude is, if I can do it, you can do it. Because there's a lot of lazy people out there. Lazy. I'm not lazy. My ambition has its limits too, but there are people out there that I want somebody else to do it for me. Fuck that shit. No. I mean, I might ask for help or advice or input or a different point of view or something like that. But so my attitude is never a holier than thou. Mine's a, if I can do it, you can do it. So get off your fat, lazy ass and do it, or shut the fuck up. All right. That's one of the reasons I'm not a big fan of that sort of behavior. Right. So if that's what somebody's thinking, they're misinterpreting me. But I see other people saying and doing things, and that's the impression I get. If I'm misinterpreting them, let's have a conversation. Let's see. Sorry, Squib does bite. I have marks to prove it. We don't talk about that, bearded guy. We just don't talk about that. Squib, your mouth and attitude tells us who you are. Yep. Vanessa Kitty. Hi, Vanessa. All right. Yeah. So yeah, I've got a big beef with SHOT Show. SHOT Show is an exclusive thing. You have to have certain credentials and you have to do this and that to get in. If I did this or did that, I could get in. And I thought about working my way into it just 1 year just to go. But I thought about it, and it's like, why? I can just go to other things where I don't really need the credentials. Besides that, if I'm in Vegas, man, I'm going to be hard pressed. Like, I'd probably zip through SHOT Show in a day and be like, all right, guys, I'm out. And then I'm out in the desert. You guys ain't going to see my ass, honestly. When I'm out there, I'm just, you know, and I don't get some of the other stuff. I mean, for you guys, it's a working trip. For me, I'm gonna be hiking. I'm gonna be sightseeing. I'm gonna be doing some shopping. I'm gonna be, you know, at the bar and the casino, you know. And people who've never been to Vegas think that you've got to go in there and drop $10,000 at the gambling table. And no, dude, you can go on the cheap. You can go on the cheap, or whatever. That's another thing too. Is if I'm gonna stay there, I'm gonna stay someplace nice. You know, I'm either gonna stay at a friend's house or I'm gonna get a nice hotel room. I'm not, you know, whatever. But yeah, so Shot Show for me, just, it's something that maybe I'll do once, but really it's like Wanamaker. There's really no point in it. I like it when people do videos from Shot Show with vendors that nobody else does a video with. If 149 other YouTubers done the same fucking video, why am I watching yours? Seriously, if I have 15 friends that went to SHOT Show, why am I watching 15 fucking videos on the same new innovative gun that's never going to make it to market that I don't give two fucks about? I guess I'm giving you a pity view. Now I got to give 15 of you a pity view. No. So every now and then I'll see one of you guys do a video on something that's like, wow, that got my attention, or hey, I didn't know that, or nobody went to this booth except this dude, right? And I like that. But otherwise, though, it's the same old shit. It seriously is the same old, same old, same old. So I guess for me, it adds insult to injury when you spend 3 months before talking about it and asking other people to pay your bills for you, 3 months after talking about it, and then telling everybody about what happened. Like, I don't know how to, like it's an inside joke and nobody's getting it because you know, you're not being transparent with the audience. And then you say, watch my stupid fucking videos. I mean, so why do people go? Why don't they go? I think I just kind of covered all the things that you could get either as a YouTuber or as a non-YouTuber going to any of these events. I think that you can spend as little or as much money as you want. I think that you have multiple opportunities, even if where you live doesn't host these sorts of things. It's a couple states over, or you can plan this far enough in advance that you could plan this trip for next year or something. Like Antique Arms, I went to Antique Arms this year for the first time. I'm definitely going back. I absolutely am going back. And it's like ours that we have here like 4 times a year, but it's a lot bigger with a lot more expensive guns. But I'm not going to go every year. I'm not going to spend that sort of money. Somebody say, put it on your credit card. I'm not going to go every year. I'd love to, but it's not that important to me. But next time I go, I think I'm going to bring some more money because I wouldn't mind coming home with one of them. So, you know, there's all kinds of venues you can go to. If you're a YouTuber, you've got an opportunity to network out. You've got an opportunity to make some connections with some vendors. You've got an opportunity to I'll say it, create content. You know, and if you've thought about getting into YouTube, this is a great way to meet a bunch of YouTubers, to see what they do, see the equipment they carry, see why they do what they do, and learn from them. They can say, don't buy this camera, it's a piece of shit. Or why do you carry 16 cameras with you? Well, this one could, if this one breaks down, or I've got to film with 2 because if one of them has a corrupt file. I've run into all these problems, right? Carrying multiple things or whatever. I mean, over time, I've gradually gotten more and more and more stuff. You know, now I back up shit to a cloud just in case, right? Whatever it is. So you can get all kinds of tips from these guys. There's all kinds of opportunities. If you're a Second Amendment guy and you're trying to start out a YouTube channel, you're new to YouTube, your YouTube channel just isn't doing anything, you're doing one thing and one thing only, and nobody's really watching or whatever, go to one of these events. Go to a rally, go to a gun show, go to a trade show, go to one of these events, and don't be afraid to talk to people. Just don't be afraid to do it. If you're not sure, ask in the comment section on a video. Somebody you know who goes to these things. Hey, when's the next one? Where's it going to be? If I wanted to meet up with you, could we? Something like that. I'm telling you, unless they're a really big channel and you know, they're just a total asshole, it's not that big of a deal. But I would rather see more people in the culture than less people. I'm not going to twist anybody's arm or try to coerce them or, you know, lie to them or anything else like that. That's why I'm going to say the good and the bad, because I will say this: going to these shows as a YouTuber and filming and meeting up and stuff, you get to see the dirty underside, the backside of this screen that is not so, because not everybody's honest. Some people will stab you in the back over $5 fucking. And just because I don't discuss it all the time or whatever doesn't mean I haven't seen it or been a part of it. um it's just it's a shame, but don't let that discourage you, because life isn't easy. I mean, if you've got to drive 13 hours to get to this damn thing or whatever, or just here's another one. Some people are pro 2A and they love guns and stuff like that, but they're not going to go to this city or that city because they're terrified of the city. They're country bumpkins who are afraid to go to the city because, oh, them people in the city. Dude, most of this shit, these convention centers and things like that, dude, there's parking. You literally can walk or catch a cab or rent a little whatever. And it's not that scary. I mean, grow a pair and just go. So let me see if there's any other comments out there. I don't know of any nationally known gun show. They are all regional. Yeah, Gary, if you're talking about my remark about nobody knows what Wanamaker is, I mean, I'm not saying just because I didn't know until YouTube, but I'm just saying I know people who have been into guns longer than me around here, have more guns than me, are members of multiple organizations and things like, they're dang officer in the gun club for their county or whatever. They've never heard of Wanamaker. Let's see here. Bearded guy, I've never been to Las Vegas. It's just not appealing to me. That's probably because you think it's one thing and it's not. But it may not be for you. I love going to Las Vegas, but I bring my own vehicle. I've rented cars there before. I've done the cab thing. I bring my own vehicle. I stay at a different resort almost every single time. We've a couple resorts we've stayed at more than once, but we try to new stuff. I eat where the locals eat. I shop where the locals shop. I know my way around town. I don't need, any help getting around town. If I need something, I mean, I know where Walmart is because they've got like 14 of them, right? That sort of shit. So, there's back ways to everything that'll save you time on traffic. If you just go right down the boulevard, it's bumper to bumper. No, don't do it. I think a lot of people think all it is being drunk and spending all your money on a slot machine and prostitutes, and that's not necessarily what Las Vegas is. And if you look at the crime there's the same amount of crime in Kansas City or Chicago or Atlanta or Providence or San Jose, or pick a major metropolitan area. Watch the 6 o'clock news and see how many murders were committed, and it's the same shit everywhere. We were in a traffic jam once on 15 and couldn't figure it out, and then it cleared up, and then later went back to the hotel room, find out that a couple miles up the front, two guys were shooting each other on the freeway. That's never happened in any other major city. Sure as fuck it has, right? I'm not afraid to walk around down there. I'm just not. I've walked through some pretty shady neighborhoods, and dude, that shit ain't even close to Detroit. Hell, it isn't even as tough as Albany, Georgia. So, yeah, whatever. But if it's not for you, it's not for you. It's just, you might just look at it like these TV shows and just think it's all it is crime and you spending all your money. There's a lot more to it than that. Now, if you're not physically fit, you might not be into going out of town to all the different national parks and state parks and all that other stuff. But if you do like scenery and seeing something that maybe you don't see every day, especially if you're not from the desert, there's lots of hiking to do out there, and I love doing that. And there's other things too. I mean, they've got places where you can rent machine guns and out there. Now, I understand. I mean, hell, I can go 35 minutes down the road and rent machine guns, so but for some people, they don't have that where they live. And then there's other things to do as well. But there's more to it than just drinking and gambling. So, and by the way, if you gamble there, you drink for free, especially if you get to learn kind of how fast to gamble, how much to gamble, how fast to gamble, and you find an area where either the cocktail waitress is looking for tips or the bartender is honest. Because if you put a 20 in the video blackjack machine at the bar, you get comped your drinks as long as you're spending money. Well, in Las Vegas, a lot of those drinks are $20. So if you lose 20 or 40 bucks, you win some, you win some of it back. You play real slow, dude. They just keep bringing you drinks, and then you just tip the guy and whatever. So, I mean, there's other ways too. I mean, you just literally go to the CVS in front of the casino, go get a $2, $5 tall boy of beer, go walk back into the casino and drink that instead of buying the $18 12-ounce bottle at the bar. Yeah. So there's ways, but if you've never been there, you probably never know. Just send me an email. I'll tell you. Maybe I should do a video one day, talk about all the little ways to get around the expenses in Las Vegas. What I mean is gambling. I don't care for it and everyone else. I do here misuse the gun rights. All right. Gambling. You don't have to gamble to go to Las Vegas. The last time I was there, I didn't put a dime in a slot machine. I mean, you don't put a dime in anymore, but I was there for 3 days and I didn't do any gambling. The time before that, I don't think I gambled. I know I gambled one night. That might have been it. I was there for 5 days, and I think I only gambled one night. The longer, the more, or I guess the longer it's been that I've gone, the less and less I gamble each time. It doesn't mean I won't ever gamble. It's kind of fun, and like I said, you get your drinks for free, and if you know where to go. But it's not like what you see on TV where you're sitting at a blackjack table with all these people smoking cigars, and you're just shelling out. They have places like that, but you don't have to do that. I mean, if you want to, you can, but you don't have to do that. Plus, no friends and family there. Make friends. I've got friends in Las Vegas. I've got 2 places that I know I can knock on the door and say, hey, well, one of them I gotta have the security guard knock on the door for me, but I know 2 places I can knock on the door and be like, hey, dude, I need a hand. But make friends. Let's see. My sore bicep. Drive to Las Vegas to Lone Pine, California. A great day trip. Yeah. Drive from north of Detroit to Las Vegas. That's a great 2-day trip. It takes less time if I drive through Oklahoma, but I can't fucking stand Oklahoma. Oh my goodness. Last time I was in Oklahoma, the guy at the toll booth gave me a hard time too. I was like, which toll booth, right? I know, because I went to like 15 of them. But yeah, Oklahoma. That bearded guy. I can go to all these sites with my aid. That's not the issue. Yeah, well, and that's another thing. Handicap accessible or something like that. If you look at the thumbnail, that's Rick at NRAAM in 2019. He's big guy on that scooter, and he had no problem getting around. He did take it down a flight of stairs, which I really wish I could have been there to film that. But some of these places, they might not be as accessible, or just the fact that you might need a ride. I know 2 guys that have to get a ride to go to one of these events, and it's not easy to say, hey, can you give me a ride to go to the gun thing? Right, because nobody wants to do that, right? Especially if it's on short notice or something. I know that one of them, I was going to pick him up and take him, but at the last minute, I backed out because I thought I was going to need more money for a trip the following week. It turned out I didn't. What a dick. So lesson learned is plan ahead better. But yeah, I kind of put it in the title, Cliché 1 week to NRAAM 2023. I didn't want to be one of these guys that's talking about going to this show for weeks on end prior to it and talking about going or what happened there after. I'm not saying I'm not going to mention it or maybe have some videos, but that's why I called it Cliché. Everybody does it. So I'm making fun of the fact that everybody does it. In a week, I'll be in NRAAM unless something major happens. Because I was supposed to go to a Great American Outdoor Show once and bent the lower control arms on the truck. There went my trip. So I still haven't gone to that. Eventually, I plan to go to that one. And and that's one last thing I guess I could think to drag this out a little bit longer, because how long have I been going? Almost an hour. Yeah. As far as getting there, some people fly, and if you want to fly, that's fine, especially if it's going to be a 2 or 3 day road trip. Flying might just be easier for you, but the road trip can be kind of fun too. Some of the things, especially if you bring some friends, you split the cost. You carpool together. The person with the most reliable, most roomy vehicle maybe drives, and somebody else pays for the fuel, and somebody else chips in for whatever it is. Right? You can cut your costs, and you can have a good time, and you can have some of these stories. And honestly, I like the YouTube videos where somebody talks about what happened from beginning to end, not just the funny part in the middle and people are going, what the fuck are they talking about? Share with your audience how much fun these things are, because they are fun. I don't spend money on this because I'm making money off of YouTube. I spend money on this because I like seeing my friends and I like being involved in the Second Amendment and the gun culture, because that's what they are. They're a culture. Some people call it a community, but Roll Call and I call it a culture, and I think that's a more accurate statement. So if that's not you, that's fine. If you're shy or just it's just not your thing, it's not your thing. Nobody's telling you have to. I'm going to constantly encourage people, maybe to the point of badgering them, but at the end of the day, it's their life. They can do what they want. So I just think there's positives and negatives to it. I don't want to lie to somebody and not, or I should say, maybe not lie, but I want to be transparent and admit the negatives. But I also think that the positives can outweigh them if that's what you're going for. If you're going looking for the negatives, you're going to find them. But if you're going looking for the positives, you might find a few negatives. But I think the positives, you might walk away with a different opinion. You might walk away going, I might want to do this. So anybody else got any other comments? M. Gabriel, hey, bearded guy, gotta go. See y'all later. See you later, that bearded guy. Sergeant Joe Smith, casinos across Oklahoma border, about an hour from me, has free pop. Really, dude, free pop. For anyone there, help yourself. Penny slots, free pop. Free concerts with a no-name washed up band. Yeah. No, that doesn't mean I don't ever plan to go. I've gone to 2, 3. There. I've gone to 3 casinos that weren't in Nevada and that I can think of off the top of my head. And I really didn't care for them. I'm not saying I had a bad experience. I had a good experience at 2 of them, but just compared to Las Vegas or even Laughlin to some point, even though Laughlin smells like cigarettes and old people. Yeah, it's just not the same. I haven't gone up to Reno yet. I need to get up there. But yeah, for me, it's just not the same. But that doesn't mean I wouldn't go to another casino. There's one in southern Michigan on the way to Roll Call's house. It's called Firekeepers. And one of these weekends, me and the wife are going to go there and just like get a really expensive room and hang out. And if we gamble, we gamble. If we don't, we don't. But it's one of the Indian casinos. Yeah, I said Indian, not Native American. Go fuck yourself. Yeah, I mean, we've got them here in Michigan too, but I don't think they're going to comp us booze. They might comp us a meal, but yeah, I just, for what it costs, I break even gambling most of the time. So let's see. My sore bicep. NRAAM should be a source for at least a couple of boutique coffee reviews. Okay, so was it Black Rifle Coffee? I think the first time I ever saw that was at a gun show in Michigan. Phoenix Ammunition had it. Now I don't support them anymore, but I did in the past. I don't know if there's going to be a coffee company there, but if Black Rifle's there, I'm just going to keep walking. You know, that's another thing. Last time I went to NRAAM, or the only time I went to NRAAM, the room is dusty. The only time I went to NRAAM, last time, either way you look at it, I went to the vendors I wanted to see. And I went to like 30 vendors in less than one day. And I talked with these people, right? I didn't get in the long lines. I didn't try to get Chuck Norris's autograph. I didn't give a shit about Hickok. You know, even though I've bumped into him in a few places, big deal. I wasn't there for that. I got to hang out with my friends. I got to meet some people in person for the first time. You know, I didn't have a problem getting around and seeing stuff. So I need to get the vendor list off the internet and figure out who I'm going to go to, because I went in there with no plan at all except to go see the Henry booth. I want to go see my rep, and I got to meet her. And you know, right around there is where I bumped into Rick and Ohio 45 ACP. So, and it was kind of cool being there. Rick's handling a 380 easy for the first time. And he said, I'm getting one of these things. And then the guy said, why don't you check out the Performance Center model? And we're like, the what? And we went over to the other side and we're like, how much more? And he's like, $70 more. $70 more and you get all this extra shit? Hell yeah. They're going to be on stores shelves this year. And Rick got one. And then later I got one for my wife. So it was kind of cool being there. It not only helped me shop for my wife, but just seeing Rick handle it for the first time and that sort of thing. These are the things that come up when you go to those sorts of things. But as far as looking for boutique coffee, if Black Rifle Coffee's there, I'm just going to keep walking. I have no interest in talking to them. Raphael, hi. Anything else? Just look at it happening with OJ at one of those stations off strip casinos. Yeah, okay. I'm not gonna lie. I have had some bad experiences at the station casinos and some good experiences, but yeah, I've shot footage at the women's prison in Las Vegas before, but I've never. And the Clark County Detention Center is near where I like to go shooting out in the desert out there, but I haven't been a guest of either facility. I actually had the fucking warden sent some pogue in a van out there to tell me I couldn't shoot footage in front of the women's prison. What a bunch of bullshit. Oh, well, anyhow. Yeah. So is that it? Sergeant Joe Smith, Michael, two upcoming free concerts. Yeah, I don't know who Michael Ray and Sarah Evans are. If there's some sort of shit kicker country music band, I don't give a fuck. So I just ain't into that. I might be from the South, but I don't listen to that music. Anything else? Probably not. I'm just reading the comments over here on the StreamYard side. I've noticed that if YouTube holds it for review on the live chat part, it will show up over here. So, and there's just a slight lag. So I think I got to everybody who was watching. So thanks for the people that showed up. Thanks for the people to listen to me talk about rallies, trade shows, and gun shows, and what they mean for a YouTuber or a non-YouTuber, the pros and cons, and why I think if you haven't given it a try or you have some misconceptions about it, you should give it a try. Maybe in the future, I'll do a video or a show about cost-cutting measures to go or different things you could do. But I'm looking forward to seeing some of you guys at NRAAM. I'll just be there Saturday. I'm literally getting up, driving there, doing the show, and driving back. I'm stopping on the way there and maybe on the way home to shoot videos for my other channels too. So I'm making it, definitely getting the most bang for my buck out of the trip. I'm not doing an Airbnb or getting a hotel or any of that. There's no reason for it. I was going to get a hotel, but I guess that fell through. So I'm just going to go. And I'm fortunate enough that I'm close enough that I could just zip in and zip out. It's not a big deal. If it was further away, I'd get a hotel, but I'm not worried about it. So if anybody wants me to hang out with them afterward, I could probably stop by, but I can't stay for too long. I should get on the road and I've got a few other things to do. So I'll look for the media room and head on in there and hopefully get to see some of you guys for the first time, or definitely see some of you guys for the second, third, fourth time. That's about it. So thanks everybody for tuning in. And if you have any questions about going to an event, or if you're new to YouTube, if you're a new gun tuber or something like that, leave me a comment, ask a question or that sort of thing. Don't be afraid to try to go to these things, because not only are you helping support the Second Amendment and the industry, but you're learning a lot more, and you either from these vendors or from the gun rights organizations, or through trial and error, you trying to do things, but also from people with maybe a little bit more experience who aren't they're willing to share with you. So thanks everybody for watching. Have a good Easter. And I hit the wrong fucking button. Good job, Squib. fucking newbie. And broadcast.